Hello and welcome to a very special reading today, filming this on Halloween Eve, so we're coming up to Samhain. The veil is really at its thinnest. I have a very special reading for you all here. This is a little message from your ancestors, what they want you to know right now, and as usual we have 4 piles to choose from. We have pile 1, which has a dragon egg crystal. You can see the little shiny face there. This one's called a dragon egg, just because of the shape. It's actually clear quartz crystal, but it's called a dragon egg. Next one, we have this really lovely smoky quartz point. It has a beautiful window on the front there. I love working with this one. It's a very powerful intuitive crystal. So that's pile 2, smoky quartz point. Pile 3. Now, okay, this one actually has a stand because otherwise it'll roll off because it's a ball, as you can see. Okay, so we have rainbow hematite little stand that's on here. And the crystal itself isn't actually crystalline at all. It's actually a carbon-based crystal, this one. And this is called Shungite. Now this is actually very, very protective, particularly protective from EMF, from radiation, reputedly. Very, very powerful. I work with this one. I actually bought these two together. That's how they were displayed in the shop, and I realised I needed both of them. So that's pile 3, Shungite. And pile 4, we have this lovely, lovely orange yellow piece of citrine, which I always think looks a bit like orange ice lolly, don't you? It looks like someone's taken a chunk off an orange ice lolly. So it's beautiful citrine for pile 4. So choose your pile and then go to the timestamps below. Take a moment, don't rush, and then have a look at your reading. And you can pick 1 or 2 piles because these are quite short readings. Okay. Hello, pile 1 with the clear quartz dragon egg. Let's pop her over here. Let's take a look at your cards. This is your message from the ancestors for this year's Samhain Halloween. So, oh wow. Okay, now this is quite an important card. Now I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be pronounced. Oisin or Oishin. Oshin, I don't know, maybe someone can tell me, but this is the King of the Dragons. We've got the King of the Dragons showing up here, so this is very, very powerful dragon energy coming in for you. And dragons may be an energy that you actually work with or you've been thinking about working with, and they're definitely coming forwards for you right now in a very masculine energy, so let's just pop him here. Next we have the Scrying Mirror projection. Now this is an interesting one. Okay, so we'll have a look at the divination for you, where your messages are going to be coming from. Glastonbury Phoenix, arise from the ashes of despair. Oh wow, so it's going to be something of an uplifting message if you've been struggling, pile 1, if you've been having a hard time of things. It looks like this is really being acknowledged for you at the moment. There's a lot of help and support coming through. And lastly, number 6, the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. Wow, okay. Whew. All right, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in, to be honest. Looks like there's a lot of protection, a lot of strength, I would say, coming through from your ancestors at the moment, from your spirit guides as well. And it feels really like they want you to look in the mirror. I mean, literally look in the mirror, stop looking at other people and look inside to see what you can do there, to see what you can change. Because it might feel like, you know, you might have felt like a bit of a victim lately, or you might have felt like the world's been against you, that, you know, you're kind of trying to do this all by yourself. But the truth is, I don't think you are. And I think you know, this is the message here, is that true prosperity, true abundance of everything can be yours if you're prepared to open your heart to it, because it does feel like there's a kind of a closed heart energy coming through here. And we've got the chalice well here at Glastonbury too. Very, very powerful symbolism coming through here. You know, and that is something that you can visit if you're in the UK, or if you're coming to the UK, you can actually visit the chalice well in Glastonbury. If you're drawn to do so, I would suggest it this year. That could be on the cards for you. But it's about opening your heart to abundance, and it may be that your heart is closed off because you don't think you deserve it, because you're too busy giving, because you're too busy trying to be spiritual, because you're too busy trying to fill in the blank, or because you've just never been able to do it, so you've given up, you've stopped trying. But there's so much prosperity, so much strength. It's like a genie in a bottle is literally here now saying you can have something, but you just have to know how to ask for it and how to follow through. Because it's all very well wanting something, but we won't get it if we don't believe we deserve it, or if we refuse it when it actually turns up. Are you saying no to help when it turns up? Are you saying no to assistance, to kindness, to abundance when it actually shows up, when someone tries to give you something? Do you say, no, actually, I don't want it? Sorry, my lighter in the way, that's not helpful. But do you distract from it? Do you detract from it? Do you go, oh, sorry, I've got to move my lighter out the way, I haven't got time to accept your abundance right now? Is it that you're too distracted? Because it feels like... It really feels like you may be in a very dark place at the moment, or you may be struggling in some aspect of your life because you're not letting the light in, because you're not looking at who's truly responsible for everything happening, and that person is you. You may even be using your own cards, your own psychic ability, psychic knowledge even. You may be searching, why is this not working for me? I just need to learn one more thing. No, you need to look inside. That's what you need to do. You need to look inside right now. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. This isn't a place for blaming or for shaming anybody or for shoulding anyone. It's just a case of pointing it out right now. And I feel this is very much the message from your ancestors. You are so powerful. You are so powerful. This is the King of the Dragons showing up for you. You have so much potential. There is so much that you can do. You can do it. I promise you, you really can. So this next year, the message is to be strong. The message is to change something, be brave, step out of your comfort zone, ask the genie to bring you something, do the thing that you've never done before. But be very, very honest with yourself, very clear with yourself about who is the cause of your suffering. Because the answer is usually us. It is. The second element I want to highlight here is actually clairvoyance. I feel that clairvoyance is a strong ability for you, especially when it comes to love and romance. I think you would be very, very good at that. I feel that is a message, part of your message today as well. But things really will get better. They will reach a higher level, and there's nothing wrong with having abundance. There's nothing unspiritual about having abundance. Look at the beautiful purple amethyst on this card, and the Anubis jackal dogs at the bottom here, and there's like all this pile of gold. It's just waiting for you to put out your hand and say, yes, please, I'll take it. Stop saying no to the good things coming to you. Open your heart. Be open to the assistance from the dragons as well when they show up, because they may show up on your path in some way, shape or form. They may show up as like a marker. You might see a picture of a dragon, or you might get a card with a dragon on or something, a birthday card or something. The dragons will show you the way if you ask them to. But it's really a time for renewal this year, because we have the Phoenix here as well. So it's really about a new start, a fresh start, rising from the ashes, learning from the past and what's happened to you, but also learning from your ancestral karma and what you've been through there, because I feel you've been clearing a lot of ancestral karma, like many of us have in this lifetime. It's a very, very tough challenge to do, but they sent down some very strong, very powerful souls to do it, and you're one of them. So give yourself a pat on the back. You've done a great job in your life, but rather than staying stuck in that in that sadness or just in that stuck, muddy kind of energy where you've been wading through all of this crap for so many years, it's time to really leave that behind now. Be very, very clear about that. Be very clear about cutting ties with negativity, with abuse, with trauma. Step away from it now. Make a conscious decision to rise up and fill your own chalice. It's kind of Ace of Cups energy here as well, which is all about new beginnings, and it's very hopeful, very loving. There's so much love in this world if you want it, and your ancestors and guides are very much here for you if you need them. You just have to ask. Hello Pile 2, this is your reading, your message from the ancestors and from your spirit guides for Samhain, for Halloween. So you have chosen the pile of cards with the lovely Smoky Quartz crystal point. I will pop her here. There we go. Let's take a look at your cards. Okay, so first along we have Avalon. Oh wow, connection with Avalon here. This is interesting because there may be a link with pile 1. You may want to go and have a look at that one as well, because there was a direct reference to Glastonbury in that one as well, which is where many believe Avalon actually was. So your next card we have Fortune cookie. That's very cute. Fortuitous, it says. Right, okay. Next card we have Magic is Alive. Ask your divine child with the fairy goddess mother. Oh, I like that. That's cute. And look at these adorable little eggs she's got here and a little child. And then finally, number 11, the Hawk Prince. Spirit communication, paying attention. Woo, okay. This does feel in some ways very similar to pile 1, so you may want to refer back to that reading as well. Okay, so let's have a look, pile 2, your message from the ancestors. Wow, looks like it's going to be a very fortunate year for you. I mean, I love the fortune cookie card. It's very lucky, it's very unexpected and kind of cute as well. And I'm looking at my little Maneki Neko as I'm saying this. I'm very drawn to that kind of that energy to Asia, to the east when I say that. So there may actually be a trip on the cards out there or something connected to that for you, or maybe just a free Chinese meal, who knows. But there's a lovely magical fun feeling to the next year, but it is connected to your spirituality, it is connected to your spiritual roots, and I do want to say that it is connected to inner child work as well, because you've got your beautiful divine child here with you, and I feel that you may have done a lot of inner child work. You may have done a lot of healing of yourself, a lot of inner healing, you know, for trauma or for difficult experiences that you've had. And I think that's paid off. I think it really has. And it feels very much like your ancestors are sending you the messages now to say, okay, we can move to the next step now. We can really have some fun with this. You've cleared all of this stuff away. And thank you for clearing our ancestral karma as well. Now you can move to the fun start. The fun start. Oh, interesting choice of words. When I do these readings, I'm sort of semi-channeling, so you have to remember the words come through me, not from me. That's why they seem to come tumbling out sometimes, and they surprise me the way they come out. But the fun starts here. Just pay attention to your ancestors, to your spirit guides, because they really want to guide the way right now. And there will be many messages. This is going to be a real, this Halloween, this Samhain, there'll be a lot of information coming through to you if you're open to it, if you're paying attention. It will come to you in fortuitous means, so it doesn't really matter, I think, how developed your psychic ability is. I think it will reach you one way or another, whether you're expecting it to or not. You know, these messages are coming through. They're coming through to you. So much information. They might be coming through dreams as well, I want to say, possibly through dreams, or literally just straight into your head, like claircognizance, like literally you just know a thing and you don't know why or how you know the thing, but it's there. But this energy is really upbeat, and I'm starting to talk really fast with it because it's really fun energy, and I'm really kind of feeling into it, really loving this energy. Fairy goddess mother, yeah, very gentle feminine energy as well coming through. This could be a grandmother, a great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother. I feel this is down the feminine line of your family in particular who are speaking to you at the moment, you know, the women, the mothers, the aunts, the sisters. They are really stepping in to support and help you, because, I mean, Avalon, of course, the Sacred Isle of Avalon, it was run by priestesses, a very, very feminine goddess energy there, and you may have a connection yourself to a priestess lifetime from Avalon or something similar to that. I'm very drawn to these beautiful colours which appear in these two cards as well, these sort of pale turquoise colours, and I want you to look out for those because they may be particularly pertinent for you this Halloween, this Samhain, or moving forwards over the next 12 months, over this year. And also into Scorpio season, I want to say. We're already in Scorpio season, but, you know, obviously it continues after Halloween. It goes on for another 3 weeks or so. Pay attention to Scorpio season. I think it's going to be really quite lucky for you. You know, that the Scorpion can bring in some very interesting, very kind of psychic energy, but also some synchronicity is what I want to say. I think there will be some real synchronicity when it comes to your future, and it feels very much as though the path is being laid for you now. The fun starts here, the path's being laid, the red carpet is literally being rolled out for you by your ancestors, by your spirit guides at the moment. So I'm feeling really, really good things coming up for you. When it comes to your own psychic development, your own psychic ability, I feel claircognizance and clairsentience perhaps highlighted this year. So direct knowing, just feeling like you know something and you don't know how, or feeling it, feeling a feeling or an emotion and just sensing it. And again, this is something that's very empathic. These cards are very sort of feminine and empathic. There's a lot of empathy here. So you may be a natural empath. It may not be something you've ever really worked with before, but that empathy that empathic ability is also a psychic ability, and you can actually harness it and use it directly if you haven't done that previously. I'm sure a lot of you have, and I don't want to teach grandmother to suck eggs, or fairy goddess mother to suck eggs for that matter. So, and these eggs, look at this, literally 3 little eggs here, or are they pearls? Pearls guiding the way. So it feels very much like the path is being laid out for you, literally laid out for you now, and there's this beautiful egg-shaped tunnel at the end. So it's all about new beginnings. If you wanted a fresh start, it's here. If you wanted if you wanted to know which way to go next, you're about to be shown. It's not for me to show you, but the path will be shown so clearly. You'll have breadcrumbs to follow, or in this case these lovely little pearls, or perhaps dragon eggs, who's to say what they are. But you must pay attention when it happens. You must listen to the wisdom. We've got this lovely 11-2 here, which again is High Priestess energy, but it comes in with so much wisdom, knowledge, and sacredness too. This is going to be a very sacred, very spiritual year for you, very spiritual and sacred Halloween Samhain as well. So if you have time to actually do some sort of ceremony, even if it's a small one, a short one, whatever you can do, whatever you have access to is absolutely fine, even if it's just a candle, you know. If you don't have a candle, draw a picture of a candle, you know, it doesn't matter, whatever you're able to do, or just go outside, use nature's altar, you know, use what you find outside. Because there is a strong connection here with the feminine, the divine feminine energy here with the goddess. And it might be nice for you to actually give thanks to your female ancestors as well. Show them some love, show them some gratitude, because they're the ones that are going to be leading you forwards for the next year, and it's going to be really fun. Hello pile 3, you've picked the pile with the Shungite sphere, try saying that fast, and our rainbow hematite ring. So let's pop these little babies over here. Okay, and let's take a look at your cards, your message from the ancestors for this Halloween, this Samhain. So, first card we have Merlin. Oh wow, okay, that's quite an intense energy coming through there, very divine. Next we have Candle Illumination. Oh, okay, interesting. The Lady of the Lake, find and hold your own power. Oh, I see. See where we're going with this energy. And lastly, the Metal King, discipline, armor, boundaries on 37-10-1 energy. Okay, so your message isn't quite as easy as maybe some of the others. This is a little bit more difficult for you, and there is an acknowledgement here from your ancestors and from your spirit guides. This isn't actually a very easy time for you this next year. This isn't the easiest lifetime either for you. I mean, lots of us incarnated at the moment are having really crappy lifetimes. You know, that's kind of what we're here for. A lot of us incarnated specifically to usher in the age of Aquarius, to clear up karmic debris. You know, we're here to do a lot of crappy work, really, which means that our lifetimes can be rather challenging. You know, we don't always get to do all the things that we wanted to do. But, you know, it is what it is. But let's have a look at your card specifically. And the energy is quite sedate, I feel, for your reading. It's quite calm, but it's also, there's a little tinge of sadness here as well. So with the Merlin, I mean, wow, that's a very, very magical energy. So you may actually be studying magic, or you may be drawn to study magic, whether it's the lower magics or the witchcraft, druidry, higher magics, you know, whatever it is. I would say go in that direction, or keep going in that direction if that's what you're drawn to, because you are a natural magician. You are here to manipulate the elements. You can do that, and I feel that is connected to your family line, to your ancestors as well. The Merlins, now, who's to say, I'm not entirely sure if there was supposed to be one or many of them, but I feel that this was a many-faceted soul, or many souls from a family line, or perhaps both. The Merlin was said to reincarnate many times as well, but I do feel that there was a family line here as well. He inherited his powers. It wasn't just him all on his own. And this is what I want to say, because you've got the candle here, illumination, but it feels very much like you're the only one. You are the sole little candle, all by yourself, trying to light a very dark room. So it could be that you're in a very difficult situation, or a lot of challenges, a lot of difficult people around you. You may be literally the only one trying to light the way for others. You may be standing up for the truth, standing up for free speech, standing up for what you believe in. And you may feel like you're literally the only one. You're all by yourself. you may feel isolated, you may feel very lonely at the moment. You're trying to shine your light, perhaps trying to awaken others, perhaps trying to bring illumination, guidance to other people, maybe bringing spirituality to others, but they just don't want to hear it, or they're not ready to hear it. So, or they're literally looking to you for everything because they know nothing. So you might literally feel like you're kind of in the land of the blind. You know, it may be a very, very challenging time for you. You may feel very isolated with it. But the Merlin was a loner. He was something of a loner, but it wasn't a problem for him because he was surrounded by all of this magical energy, all of these magical beings. We've got this glorious purple dragon here with him, this glorious energy of not only the higher heart chakra, because we've got this lovely pink tinge to this dragon, but also the wisdom of the crown. So there's great empathy in you, and I think your ancestors want to acknowledge that. They want to acknowledge that you're trying to do this on your own, and they are here to love and support you, to bring you that support at this time. And they want you to know you're not the only one who's done this, and you're not the only one doing it either. You may feel like you're alone in this lifetime trying to achieve things, but you're surrounded by your ancestors at all times. They are here to love and support you, whether you knew them or not, it doesn't matter. And I feel this could be going quite far back into your family line. I want to actually go back maybe 1,000 years or more. I feel we may be going back into the dark ages with your ancestors, some of the very, very ancient ancestors here with you at the moment. Of course, our civilization goes back a lot longer than that, but those in particular, I want to go back to the dark ages. And it isn't easy because the Metal King talks about armour and boundaries, but also self-discipline, perhaps having to keep quiet about things so you don't rock the boat. Maybe, you know, you're in a work situation where you literally have to keep your mouth shut anytime anyone says anything because you'll get fired if you say what you really think, you know. Very, very challenging position to be in, but they know you're there and they're there here. They're there with you and they're there holding the space with you as well. And what I mean by that is when we're in a difficult situation, if we just have someone else standing next to us, that can give us so much strength of their energy just being there. And that's what we call holding the space, which is just being there in your energy, providing that extra boost. And it is very helpful when you have something difficult to do to have somebody else there with you. So if you are in a situation where you're feeling very worried, very anxious about the future, or just very alone and you need some strength to do something, to take a step, to take an action, whatever it is, call your ancestors in. Okay, you don't have to know their names, you don't have to know anything about them, whether they're male or female. All you have to do is just call out to your ancestors. Ancestors, please step in and help me right now. And they will be there in a moment. Because there's a lot of emotion for you to deal with this next year as well. I mean, look at this beautiful waterfall, but it's an underground waterfall, so this is hidden emotion. This is about hidden emotions, and I feel you may be bumping up against other people's hidden emotions at the moment as well. And the Lady of the Lake holding the sword, but look at the sword here. There's like an eye. How well we can see that on camera, but it's like an eye. I think it's supposed to be a rose, but it looks like an eye to me, and I'm very drawn to that symbolism at the moment. It's really seeing the truth, but seeing through people's emotions, seeing past their feelings, and knowing what the truth is and how to actually stand in your truth regardless of the waves and craziness and tsunamis going on around you. I do also want to talk about water specifically. There may be something to do with water that you need to be careful about over the next year. So it could be about flooding, it could be about just a burst pipe or something in your house, but keep an eye out for any issues to do with water there specifically. Yeah, but oops. Okay, thank you. But the Metal King here, we've got 37, 10, 1. Now that's some quite transformative numbering there because 10 and 1 bring change and new beginnings. So on 37 we have the blueprint and the mystery. So again, that's Merlin energy, the blueprint and the mystery. But you are the mystic, you are the Merlin. Okay, so I feel that no matter what anyone says, it may be a year to stick to your guns spiritually or on your spiritual path. So definitely not an easy one for you, but your ancestors are there to support you this whole way through. Hello, pile 4. This is your reading for Samhain for Halloween. Your message from the ancestors and your spirit guides. You've chosen the pile with the lovely yellow crystal here, the lovely yellow citrine, which I shall pop over here. Okay, let's take a look at your cards. Okay, so first of all we have the fire chalice. Okay, one of the 4 sacred chalices. So we have the element of fire coming in extremely strongly, and this is connected to dragons because this is the dragon oracle here. Okay, our next card, we have crystals, healing. Okay, interesting. All right. Then we have lift the curse, forgive, matcha lifting the curse of war. Ah, interesting. And we have the prison waif, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness coming in on a 31-4. Oh, okay. Right. So, interesting energy with this one. Again, quite a sedate energy. Very, very, very transformative. Fire is very much transformation. I feel the ancestors may want you to actually change your opinion about something. It feels to me like your ancestors really want to nudge you in a different direction in some way, shape or form. It could be as simple as, you know, your career or some lifestyle change that you need to make. But I think it's more than that. I think there may be an ideological change, or maybe some idea you have about the world which is incorrect, and they want to correct, they want to step in and say, no dear, that's not true, this is the truth here. And there is a great need for forgiveness here. So this belief may be one that causes you great anger or great suffering, but it's like they want to throw it into the fire now. They want to throw old unhelpful beliefs into the fire. These can be beliefs about yourself, they can be beliefs about the world, they can be things that you've heard in the news cycle, which are just propaganda. You know, it can be absolutely anything. We're all different. There's lots of people going to watch this. But it is absolutely about healing, but also finding the hidden gems within yourself as well, I feel. We've got some beautiful clear quartz on this card. But I'm also very, very drawn to the snowflake obsidian. So that could be a crystal for you this year. Very drawn to that one, and to the sodalite here. So those are some crystals I actually recommend, you know, you could invest in if you feel drawn to do so. Yeah, there's definitely some forgiveness here, because the prison waif is a very difficult energy to be in. It is an energy that empaths often find themselves in, where they're giving too much and not keeping enough for themselves, because 31 can be quite altruistic, you know, rather than selfish, which is a shame, because the 31 sees the bigger picture. 31 does see the bigger picture, but tries to facilitate it by giving of themselves and sometimes giving too much, or believing that everything's hopeless because they can't fix it all by themselves. Because of course you can't fix it all by yourself. You're one person. You can only do so much. You can do your part, but you can't do everything. So I do want you to take a load off, and I feel the message from the ancestors here is you can't do it all by yourself. You can't fix the world. You can't save everyone all by yourself. And that's not your job to do so either. It's not your job to try and control everything happening in the world right now. That's really not your job. And this card is actually about lifting a curse, and there's a beautiful horse spirit coming in there as well. It is, I'm not saying that you've placed a curse on anyone. If you have, lift it immediately. That's terrible. But you shouldn't be doing that. The only time we're allowed to use any kind of dark magic, as you know, is in self-defense, and even then you've got to be careful. But it's more about perhaps not blaming, not attacking other people that you don't agree with, or, you know, just try to stop being angry with them. Try to see the bigger picture, which is much, much, much bigger. Okay, even people that we don't agree with or don't like are serving their spiritual purpose here as well. We can only take the steps that we can take. We can't control what the other person does. That's entirely up to them. Okay, this lifetime is all about you, not about anyone else. So any preconceived ideas you have about forcing other people to change their minds about things, throw them straight in here, please. Okay, get rid of that. Anything unhelpful, any unhelpful thoughts that you're carrying where you feel angry or resentful towards people, you know, from your past, from your childhood, put it straight into the fire. This could actually be a very good Samhain for you to do that sort of fire ritual in a very safe way, please, in somewhere that's safe to do so, in a small fireproof container, to actually write down some things, some resentments that you want to get rid of, some beliefs, negative beliefs you want to rid yourself of, set them on fire, you know, literally burn them in a small ceremony, but in a very safe way, please. Don't be setting anything on fire that shouldn't be, and don't be setting off smoke alarms, please. Be responsible. But yes, it absolutely is. the crux of this is all healing. It is all about healing yourself, making your life better so that you can feel better. And I think this is the message from the ancestors. You can't change the world, but you can make yourself feel better about it. Just by looking at things from a different angle, perhaps by looking at things from a higher standpoint. Look how she's standing above this sort of like world map thing. She's way above it. She can see the bigger picture. And I think that's what they're trying to show you on your spiritual path here, show you the bigger picture or whatever's going on in your life. And there's so much that you can let go of. Just throw it into the fire. Ask the dragons to take it away for you, because they will. Ask them to burn it up. As a side note, when I'm doing healing work, if there is a layer of karma to remove, very often my healing dragons will step in and actually burn it off. They will literally burn it off with fire and then scrape away the ashes that are left behind, the cinders that are left behind. And they can do that for you as well. You know, if you are a healer, if you do any sort of healing work, call in dragons to work with you, you know, meet your own dragons, because they are waiting to work with you. There are many dragons who can assist mankind who are very happy to do so. And it's not difficult to call on them. Some of them may have already appeared on your path. But this, I'm very drawn to this beautiful horse spirit as well. There is a connection here with Epona, the horse goddess. So yeah, there is great wisdom to come through white horses for you as well. So look out for them. We have a few white horses on the hillside here in the UK, some quite close to me as well. So look out for those. Look out for the white horse symbolism as well, because that could be your ancestors showing you the way. And remember that, you know, don't sabotage your life trying to fix everybody else's problems, and equally don't sabotage your life trying to force everybody else to fix some problems. Okay, just focus on you. Just focus on the things that you can do. Okay, don't exhaust yourself trying to do other things which are pointless. Don't send yourself on a fool's errand. That's what I want to say. So it does feel, yeah, very much like your ancestors are bringing in a lot of healing, but they're asking you to forgive others in order for that healing to in order for that healing to actually happen, to take place. So it may be that it's a moment for you to go into counselling or therapy, or literally just start a forgiveness practice in your own spiritual practice, or to just, you know, sit down and write out you know, who you're angry with, and write out that you forgive them and that you let go of that anger. And of course, by forgiving, I don't mean letting people off for what they've done. I just mean letting go of the anger and the resentment and what's hurting you. Just that aspect. That's all you're being asked to do. You're not letting them off. You're not letting them off easy. You know, you're not preventing them from reaching their own karmic fate, because believe me, that's going to happen anyway. It won't make the blindest bit of difference. You can let go of any resentments, any anger this year. Put it into the fire and ask your ancestors to help you. So lastly, here's just a little message for everybody right at the end that my guides told me to pull out some cards for. We've got scars, hope, new world. So it feels quite self-explanatory. We may be battle scarred, but there is so much hope for this new world that we're all building together, that we're all working towards, that we are actually creating here. We've done good work. We must remain hopeful even in the darkest hours, because we are not alone. We are always accompanied by our dragons, by our ancestors, by our loved ones. And there is so much to be positive for, so much that we can do and build now. Ah, yes. And one of the keys to that is gratitude and healing. So cheeky. Gratitude and self-healing. So healer, heal thyself. Healer, healing, heal some whole. Yes, I made up a word. And it comes in on 59, 14, 5. So very balanced energy, but a lot of wisdom. Wisdom from what we've learned, I feel. It's been a year where we've learned a lot, and this Halloween, this Samhain, there is even more learning, perhaps looking back over what we have learned, the real wisdom that we have acquired. I think things that we've learned experientially rather than just in books. You know, we've kind of been put through our paces on our spiritual paths, haven't we? And also a little reminder here to stay in a place of gratitude as often as possible. I give thanks for my many blessings. You have so many blessings, so many. You have eyes to watch this video, or you have ears to hear it, or you have food to eat, you know. You have a device that you can watch this video on, you know, but there are so many things that we just take for granted because they're so tiny, or they seem so so insignificant to us, but if we didn't have them, they would seem very significant indeed. So please try to remember this Samhain, this Halloween. Bring in some gratitude, bring in thanks, send healing to yourself and to other people. Yes, we may be battle scarred. A lot of us spiritual workers right now, we're really feeling what we've been through. We've been through a lot these past few years, but never lose hope, because we're bringing in this beautiful new world for ourselves, for everybody, and for the age of Aquarius, and it's going to be great. So let's stay in a place of giving thanks, and I will also give thanks to you. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel, for watching this video. Please do remember to subscribe if you haven't already, because that makes a huge difference. Please do leave me a like, leave a comment if there's something you would like to share with us all. I love to read your comments, and I'm sure everybody else would love to hear what you have to say as well. And I will see you all again very soon. Have a wonderful Samhain, wonderful, happy Halloween.